Oh yeah. Yes, blessed. Boom, baby, boom. Rise and shine. It's your morning motivation time. Look how beautiful Eskashir looks. Look how beautiful the sunshine is right now. It's a beautiful thing out here, you guys. Beautiful day today here in Eskashir. And unfortunately, not a lot of beautiful people on Twitter. I got to get on my Twitter bullies this morning and fight back. A little clap back from what happened last night. I was up so late, I ended up having insomnia and getting harassed by a bunch of thoughts on Twitter, and I had to have a conversation about bias. You know, yesterday I was making a show about, wow, these chicks really wear all black, dude. Check it out. This is definitely Muslim territory, and here in Muslim culture, there's a lot of prudence. You know, certain things you won't get. You won't get your Pornhub sites. You won't get your FetLife sites. They won't even allow it through the internet. It's one of the ways that the Muslims control their society. And yesterday we were having a conversation about it, how they can, you know, find weed on you, come to your house, come to your job, tell your boss, go to your school, tell your teacher, go through an extreme long length to go out of their way to let them know that you smoked weed. And on Twitter, they went out of their way to try to sabotage my faceless porn ambitions and launching these sites. And of course, I'm always out trying to look for content to put on the sites and make it better and launch it properly and get it up to snuff like I've been wanting to. And this girl went on a little tirade and saying, I know thousands of girls and I have all these acronyms and people that I deal with, and I'm going to report you. And she went on the screenshots, because I have multiple, I got 100 Twitter accounts, to watch this girl try to self-sabotage or sabotage my ambitions or what I do with Saints Addiction. And it turns out that there are women that lead to destruction. You know, it's not like they lead to construction, they lead to destruction. And that's a conversation I want to have this morning is, when I was being a bully and I didn't like the way things were going with me, I had to learn the lesson that my anger, my anger will teach teach me. You will be taught by your anger. It's a Buddhist philosophy. But last night these girls were getting rude about it, and I had a battle, maybe 12 different accounts of people assuming, you know, the same that happened with that one porn star when her name wasn't spelled right. She, instead of telling me how to spell her name right, she went on a tirade to get all these girls and go, he's not spelling my name right. And all these little thoughts and simps went out of their way to say some shit. They went out of their way to go, oh my God, that's so rude. He should have just spelled your name correctly. And I'm like, I met 50 people that day, and I could easily, and I did end up switching her name, but it's also, her name's going to be forever in the work that I do, right? You know, and that was something that I had to key in on, where when people are against you, right? With my Taurus bull and my horns out, you know, halos and horns of people that don't see things the way that you see them, or only see the way that they're perpetrated. It was almost like a news channel doing what you call it, when they give news, and there's a bias towards the news. You can expect Fox News to be on a conservative tip. You can expect CNN to be on a liberal tip. and somewhere in between trying to feed through all the different perspectives to get your own perspective is really interesting because we all have biases. We all have a bias towards, like I said, I had a bias towards sugar, and it would be the thing that I would go to, and it'd be hard for me to see it differently till I actually quit sugar and lost the weight. You're going to always have bias. It's one of those things that we can't help as human beings. We will see things and instantly judge, right? We'll walk past people and we'll be like safe, fat, ugly. We're very critical of things, and it's like we can't wait to jump on a shit pile and light it on fire. We can't wait to pour gasoline on things that don't include us, and it's so weird that we won't do our own research or ask questions. We'll just assume and make situations worse, and it's a weird thing for people to what's it called? I don't know what you call it, internet bully, or try to gang up or do some stupid shit like that. But because things didn't go her way, she made sure that things were disastrous for me. Not disastrous, but just uh, slated in her own in her own way. And I'm sitting there looking at these my screenshots, and I'm reading what I wrote, and I'm reading her harassing me and me telling her to fuck off. But other people didn't want to see it that way. They were just like, oh my God, he's so unprofessional. Don't deal with him. Let's retweet it. It got 4 retweets, bro. This chick didn't have thousands of chicks following her. She had 12. And it was so funny that people can't wait to show their bad side. They can't wait to encourage miscommunication or stonewall or harass situations or people or Twitter accounts or whatever the fuck it is. They can't wait to jump into the negative. They can't wait to be the type of person that just bitches and complains. And complaining is an addiction as well. When talking about Saints addiction, being the type of person that just is like, ooh, there's drama llama. Let me get in that bitch. Let me come into this thing, and I got brighten my screen here, and jump in a mess instead of being a solution person or a person that has better shit to do with their time, right? If you have real shit going on, you're barely going to pay attention at all. It's one of those things where it's just like, for the other girls, the 50 girls that I interviewed, no one else complained. I mean, not the 49. I'm 49 and 1. You know what I mean? I'm almost like Floyd Mayweather. I'm almost 50 and 0 of having people that it worked for, and no one else complained. And it happened the other day. What was it? Where the girl was the only one sticking out, like of all the people that didn't say anything at all. Right? There's always going to be that one person that bitches and doesn't get along and wants to sink ships and make things worse and complain. And it's, you got to ask yourself, is that what I'm geared for? Am I geared for bitching? Am I geared for drama? And it turns out a lot of sex workers are geared for drama. They have mental issues. They have chips on their shoulders. And it was just like, man, I have never gone into a social media bully situation. I have never jumped in and well, yeah, that person's a dick, even though I don't even know the person. Or I second that motion. Let me get some more drama. I literally see my Facebook feed and I just keep scrolling past any kind of complaining. It doesn't get a thumbs up for me. It doesn't get encouragement, and it doesn't get my energy. And that was one of those things where I was just like, wow, the amount of energy that we give, again, giving it either to ourselves or giving it over, giving our power over to a situation. And that's something that I wanted to master. I wanted to master myself. I wanted to master not getting my horns in the wood or getting my dick in the dirt or having it some kind of drama fuck with me. I don't like being fucked with, and I don't want to fuck with anyone else. It's one of my Taurus traits, wanting to be stable, an earth sign, and stay away from things that irritate me or try to get me to again jump over the fence and wave a red flag in front of the horns and be surprised that something's happened. Be surprised that there's a horn with the harassment. And I started to report all these chicks, and there actually is Twitter harassments of people trying to gang up on other people. It's an actual selection of people trying to destroy other people instead of working together. We can't wait to find our differences. It's like this Muslim culture where my buddy was like, I can't even get a beer without someone going, that's not very Muslim, or having sex out of marriage, or not covering your whole face. I told you about all the young girls walking around now with their TikTok outfits, and it's influenced them. The Western culture has influenced Muslim culture, where it's like there are things that you're going to want as your freedom. If you want to have a beer, you're going to want to go have a beer, and if you want to go have your porn, you're going to want to have your porn. And to have a state, maybe like China or Turkey, try to control what access of information you have, or how you dress, or what you drink, it's pretty weird. You know what I mean? It coming from a society where weed's completely legal, and now Thailand's popping off, and other countries every day, another new country is changing their laws and perspectives towards something that they were like, this is a no, this is a hard no weed smoking. Like South Korea, he said his little pinky was like, even this amount is a no. And I'm like, shit, man, I'm on a 3 gram a day habit. You know what I mean? This is Saint's addiction, and I'm not hurting anyone. And as my buddy's smoking with me here, he's like, this is the nature, man. This is some of my best medicine, and they're trying to stop me from getting my medicine. It's out there, dude. There are people out there that they have nothing going on but to live their lives through a digital place and try to get groups of people to bully other people, or try to stop. Oh, it was the other girl that I posted the other day. She fucking went on a harassment tribe going, delete this, delete this. I'm like, you gave me the photo. And it's not about you. You're not that important. You're not that pretty. You're not that cool. And you gave me the photo. And just like everyone else that took photos of shirt designs that I made, everybody else is cool. They're like, thank you. Go ahead, use the photos. I haven't heard shit from anyone else. I get a bunch of thumbs up. And then there's always the one bad apple that wants to ruin the bunch. And that's what I'm saying. There's people out there that want to ruin things. There's people out there that want to destroy what people have built, and I've seen it many a times. We're in that society where we're like, oh shit, Bud Light can be taken out. You know, as soon as they want to have a transgender person do an advertisement, they can be taken out. And people want to vote with their wallets, but most of the time they vote for their self interest instead of constructive interest. They get an instant up in arms, and by example, I was watching this last night where they were calling it was it the white girl, the missing white girl bias is what they were calling it. And I don't remember the girl's name. I don't know. It was like Petito or something like that. But the girl was missing, and the guy was like, it's nice that we have a bias towards missing white girls. And we're like, if it's a white girl, we got all the search parties, everybody gives their extra effort, but how many people go missing? And that's what the dad was saying, was like, look, give this much energy, talking specifically to the news, to the rest of these people. There are people that have missing moms and disappeared, but we don't give any energy towards it. As soon as we have the bias that it's a poor little cute little white girl, we're on some, oh, raise the arms, let's put as much max effort as we can, and search and rescue parties and all this other stuff. If it's a black girl, she don't get the same treatment. And they literally showed about 5 other girls, black women, it's usually women of color, brown or black, that were not getting any attention at all. They were just like, well, it's the worth of it, you know. And we do that. We make biases all the time, and our brains work that way. It's part of psychology that we can make decisions based off of misinformation constantly. Well, I know that that's what I've been doing, is to process what's happening through a different lens. If I'm feeling harassed, then I'm going to get anxiety, and then I'm going to fight. And instead of looking for things to fight about, I wanted to look for things to get along about. I wanted to find things to de-escalate situations, and that takes a real strong perspective. It happened once, with the cops in London when I was being harassed when I left my bag and they were trying to fuck with me. It was one of those things where the guy actually asked me, he said, "Did you get your breakfast?" And it was the most human question he could ask, but I was like, "No, I still haven't got my breakfast." He's like, "All right, just give this guy breakfast, watch your bags, don't walk away from him, and we'll leave you alone." I said, "Bet, no fucking problem." Same thing happened with Ryanair. When the guy came around, he's like, "All right, mate, you can't record anybody. I don't care how they're harassing you. You just delete it. Everything's kosher." And I did. I went and just deleted it. Obviously, I can get it back from my phone, but it was one of those things where it was just like, if cooler heads can prevail, like I was talking about yesterday, if we can see the forest through the trees, if we can get our own head out of our own ass, we can see better. We can open our options and decide for ourselves. And that's what we're doing every day, is making decisions for ourselves to better ourselves. And if we have any situations that have cloudy covers or side mirrors, we're only going to get tunnel vision and see what we want to see instead of seeing all the trees. And that's what I wanted to talk about this morning, is there's a lot of biases that we hold dear to ourselves. We'll hold a bias like Muslim cultures, thinking that they do it better because they cover their whole head to toe and pray 5 times a day, and you're drinking and you're just trying to enjoy your day. They're going to judge you. And wherever you go, you're going to constantly be judged. And it was just like, do you placate to the crowd? Do you always try to win over everybody, or you're going to lose some battles? And it's okay that these people have their own opinions and want to believe whatever they see, instead of actually reading the fine print and seeing that I did spell the girl's name right, and she didn't even tell me how to spell her name right, or the girl did give me the photo and then wanted it to be deleted after it wasn't about her. It was about, I love my life and my friend holding up her shirt. But she's the one that took the selfie. She's the one that sent me the photo. And then all of a sudden, she's the one that was like, "I'm going to call the police." And I'm like, about a tweet? About a post? About a post or a picture that you gave me? Yeah, go ahead. Call the Finland police. Tell them to come on down to Turkey. Let's have this conversation, and then I'll tell them the same thing I'm going to tell you guys. She gave me the photo. If she didn't want me to have the photo, why'd she give me the photo? And there's some people that just can't wait to try to control their image or get other people on their side. It happened the other day with the other chick. I mean, she left my homie, divorced him, divorced her ex-husband to be with my homie, and now she's divorcing him to cheat on him with another man. So she's a serial cheater. She's a serial narcissist, and the only way she tried to pretend like she was my friend was she's still on my Instagram going like, "I see you're still traveling, have good safe travels," pretending like she didn't just steal my friend's home, didn't just separate their family, didn't just harass him or physically abuse him. And it was just all that kind of one-sided thing. You would like to think that, oh yeah, the man just harassed the woman, it's got to be just the man's fault, right? And it was just like, no, this woman actually physically stomped on my buddy till he was unconscious. He woke up on her lap. She's trying to wake him up, and the Thai police are looking at her like, what the fuck, dude? So 15 times in the jail because of their domestic violence that I've been talking about since the beginning of this trip has now come to a head, and now my buddy's homeless, basically. He finally just got a house, but was instantly homeless because his wife is now stealing the house, keeping the kid, and sleeping with someone else. He's out on the streets. He's lost his home. We never want to see that shit before. We don't want to see what happens for someone to be homeless. We want to assume that the person has mental illness, and we have a bias towards these people. But the truth is a lot of people that are homeless could have had their house burnt down, could have been divorced, just like my homie. Certain things that almost out of their control that they didn't do. He's still a working guy. He still takes showers. He's still a great guy. But at the same time, he could be homeless because his ex-wife wants to sink his ship. This is again like leading to destruction instead of leading to construction, and that's a weird bias that people choose, where they're just going to be always in their own mind, seeing things that they only want to see, instead of getting unblind and taking the blinders off and to see the forest through the trees and actually assess the situation, instead of snap judgments. And we all like to just snap our judgments, and that's what was so weird. It's like at Saints Addiction, I can't judge. I said mostly saints because it's not perfect. No one's perfect is our motto, and that I'm not perfect. Situations aren't perfect, but I always do better. I'm working on it. You know what I mean? That's the choice, is to choose to turn on my halo instead of turn on my horns. And it's going to be a constant basis of between, am I going to be the type of person that chases drama and rides drama llamas into the sunset, or I'm going to be the type of person that let water slide off my back and find alternatives that actually work. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the alternative that works. I'm looking to get away from my addictions, to get away from my complaining, to get away from my biases, and start being open-minded, less judgmental, and more open. I just say open-minded, more aware of my own biases. And that's something that's really tough to do, is to see yourself. And I could see what was going on with the girl. It happened twice last night, where chicks just got sassy. Maybe it was the moon, maybe it was my insomnia, but I'm like, look, homie, this is business. Stop running your mouth, bro. Start running your checkbook. You know, that's what I love about business. That's what I love about men, is that we do business. We don't bring our personal lives to business. There's no place for it. We used to say, no one's going to buy a car from someone that's talking about their divorce. It's not your time when you're talking to customers to talk about your life. It's your time to sell the product and be about the product and explain the value and build the value in the products. Instead, we want to be just extremely judgmental. We can't wait to see something come on the news, on the blues, and watch all the blood run down the screen, instead of looking for the other things. It doesn't talk about the kid that won the spelling bee today. It doesn't talk about the guy that saved his child from the river. It doesn't talk about those things. Now, those things are always on the back end of the story. And then what they lead is like with the war in Ukraine, or what's going wrong with politics, or if it bleeds, it leads. And it's that simple. And we can't wait for shock value. We can't wait for drama. We're so addicted to it that we can't see that. It ruins our day. It ruins our vibe. It ruins our perspective, and there's nothing good coming out of it. And that's what I wanted to perpetrate this morning. Is there's always going to be bias. We can't help but make judgments, but it's also the type of person that you are. Are you the type of person that while people walk by, you judge them? You say, oh, those are cheap shoes, those are cheap bags, I can't believe she's wearing that? Or are you the type of person that looks them in the eyes, look in their heart chakra, and just sees a human that's alive? It's tough for us, and there's people that are out there like that. Racism still exists, anger still exists, prejudice still exists, and it's unfortunate in human beings that we do that. Is it part of our safety mechanism? Yeah, sure, you want to know if someone's coming down the street, if they're safe or not. Of course you want to protect your friends from things that didn't work, but just because me and you didn't work out didn't mean you could solicit all your friends to bully me and also retweet and try to get it up against me. And that's why the rule's there for Twitter, is that you don't get to go out and start storming the barn trying to find Frankenstein, because we didn't understand that we're all alive in this situation. We're all human, and I always try to get back to that basis point that we all breathe, we all shit, especially in the mornings. I like to talk to women and say, that's a human too. I don't like when they try to abuse me. It's a trigger for me, man or woman, bringing harassment towards me, or throwing shade, as we say in the streets. The only shade I want is under trees. And I want my trees, and I don't want people all up in my face, or all up in my business, or assuming the worst. That's what type of people you are. You're going to ask yourself, do you assume the worst, or do you assume the better? And a lot of people just assume the worst. They're just going to keep on judging other people, and usually judging themselves, and being a judgmental person instead of being an open-minded person that can try to see things both ways, try to balance the perspective, and see that, yeah, there's something cool about Muslim culture, that they have so much reverence to sing in the morning. Well, I'm up at 4:30 in the morning. Is it annoying? Yeah. It's like they grabbed the worst singer in all the city. And do I wear a hijab and only can see through here? Yeah, I can see it because women's hair is so beautiful, their faces are so beautiful, their titties are so beautiful, their booty's so beautiful. Of course, you're going to wear something that hides all those things and deny your sexuality or deny physical beauty. I can say it that way, but I've also been grown up in America and been brought up to not like Muslims or see them as the enemy, when all I see right now are just girls in nice dresses, very conservative, walking with their mothers right now, and just going on about their day. I didn't see a Muslim girl that's out of her culture or wearing a sundress. How dare she? Or having a cigarette. How dare she? Or having a beer. How dare she? There's so many controls. We talk about feminism all the time in America. It's the antithesis of that over here in Muslim culture. But there's also the control of Muslim culture. So it's just like one of those things. Is like I keep asking people, do you want China to lead the world? Do you want somebody that's authoritarian and used to make everybody wear the same outfit and has spy cameras and credit ratings on people? Or do you want the freedom to own your own land, own guns, and do what you want on your own land and do what you want with your own life? That's what we're saying the fundamentals of democracy is this choice. And that's what we have, the freedom of choice to choose if we're going to be a biased person, to choose if we're going to be addicted to substances, addicted to emotions, or addicted to complaining. It's all a choice. So you know the people I'm talking about, the friends that always have nothing nice to say, then don't say nothing at all. That's my additive. I'm not going to add my like to it. I'm not going to retweet it. I'm not going to jump into the drama. I don't want anything to do with any of that stuff. I want to be free from mental slavery. I want to be free from the matrix. I want people to have their own freedom. That's why it's an anarchy symbol, so that they can have true freedom. I believe that they're going to find their own way, and if they don't, they're going to bump into hesitation. They're going to bump into roadblocks. They're going to be stonewalled all the time, because nobody wants somebody to come around and harass them. Nobody wants somebody to go out of their way to stop someone else's freedom or fun. Unless you're hurting someone, then you need to be stopped. But other than that, if you're not hurting anyone, I don't even want you hurting yourself. Then go about your business. Keep on walking with your short shorts and your little backpacks and your little midriffs. I see these little girls here. You're in the sunshine. You're with your friends. You're fucking 15, 20 years old. Be free, bro. Do what you got to do. But if it goes up your skirt, you're as guilty as the next. You made a decision to wear that, and if it's just the hijab, then you made a decision to be controlled that way. We all are making decisions with our lives. Some of us are born in certain situations. Some of us have been chosen religion. Some of us have switched religions. It's one of those things where freedom of choice makes me feel happy. Freedom makes me feel alive and also human. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing for the World War III or the futures of economies and countries is who's going to fight for freedom. As Americans, I already know we're going to fight for our freedoms. As other people, they don't want to have it self-imposed on them either. Everybody should go their own way. Stop trying to attack each other as countries. Stop trying to start wars. Stop trying to start Twitter wars and bullying and misunderstanding, and be about that life. Start being about sourcing your own information, opening your horizons, opening your mind, and seeing the forest through the trees and go, okay, this person has a certain point and this person has a certain point. We used to do that in debate class where we had to stick to the points. We had arguing points and we would go back and forth and see who made the best and clearest point. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to the point where I'm just trying to launch a website. I'm not trying to offend anybody. And Lord knows, as a Taurus bull, I didn't start that shit. I just finished it. And that's how I am. So it's like, till the chick started getting sassy and mouthy, I was like, listen, chick, this is business. Nobody wants to hear your fucking shit out of your mouth. This negative garbage. You know what I mean? Take your personality out of it. Stick to the business and just get the check. But some people, they can't do that. They want to get everybody else in their emotional bubble, in their emotional turmoil, and can't wait to raise the troops and start battles that they had never intended to finish, and also wasn't anything about freedom. So to that point, that's what I'm going on about today. Was just in my haze of insomnia and a little bit of sleep. Was just, I'm not trying to be that person. I'm not trying to be the person that can't wait to vote socially when the voting's at the poll box, you know? So it's one thing to run your mouth, it's another thing to vote. And we vote with our wallets, we vote with our actions, and we vote with our attitudes. And that's something that we all have to be self-aware of. It's like, how am I not only being perceived, but also how am I perceiving things? And that's when you get Saints Addiction. That's the lens I started looking through. So that's my morning motivation. It's not very motivational, but I did get harassed on Twitter, and I know I'm the worst thing since sliced bread to these 12 people and the 4 retweets, but nobody asked me what was going on with it. They just assumed, and he's so unprofessional. How dare he not spell her name right? How dare he share the photo that he was given? How dare he actually try to recruit and actually make something out of his life? There's always going to be somebody that looks at your shit and frowns. It's your job to turn your frown upside down and just keep smiling. Stay happy. Your morning motivation. Your boy Marky Saint. Peace and love. And as always, Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever and finish. Live from Turkey. Travel by Saints. Peace. I'll see you on the other side. As soon as you like, share, and subscribe. And also comment below. When have you ever been bullied on social media or found things went astray because everybody thought it was the most popular thing to do, and then only later, Salem witch trials, did we realize that we were realizing real lies. Peace and love. I'll see you on the other side.